Okay, so what we're going to do right now is just talk about some fundamental finger exercises that I think that everybody should work on to just try and develop basic strength and speed and dexterity between your hands. So the first thing to understand is the right hand. I try and teach what's called a 3-minute picking technique, and what you do is you try and do down strums, and then you try and do alternate picking for 3 straight minutes. You try not to stop. And the reason I chose 3 minutes is simply because most people can do something kind of out of their element for 20, 30, 45 seconds, and then they start kind of losing it after that. So really the goal here is to be able to do it all the way for 3 minutes without stopping. If you think of it this way, like if you're working out and you're at the gym, we're not trying to bench press 250 pounds once or twice. We're trying to lift a weight over and over and over and over again to develop those muscles. That's what you're looking for here. It's not a matter of trying to do something really fast for a very short amount of time. It's really not going to do you any good. You have to be able to do it for a long period of time if you're playing in a band or something and you're playing, multiple songs or something like that, or you're playing for 45 minutes or 2 hours or 3 hours or whatever. So the goal here is to be able to choose a speed that feels relatively comfortable to you to be able to do your down picking consistently without stopping. So what I'm going to do is use the metronome here. I've got my metronome. Now let's just say hypothetically I choose the speed 152, which means this is clicking 152 times. What I'm going to do is play eighth notes down picking. So I'm going to be going 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 like this. And I want to do that over and over and over for 3 straight minutes. I can time myself, look at the clock, figure out when it is, and see how I feel by the time I get to the end. If I only make it a minute in and I start losing it, or a minute and a half or whatever, then it's too fast. I need to slow down that metronome. Now there's 2 things you have to understand about practice. Number 1 is honesty, and number 2 is ego. The problem with a lot of these exercises is people always feel horrible about themselves when they have to slow down the metronome, like they're doing something wrong or whatever. You have to understand that the goal with learning how to play isn't you against anybody else, it's you against you. And so the most important thing is every day you're trying to be better than you were yesterday, similar to life really. But the metronome are just numbers. It's just an infinite amount of times that we can play different things. And so what you're doing is you're taking, for instance, 152. If that's too fast, you need to slow it down a little bit and then try it there. And find your spot, okay? That's the other part, is making sure that when you're playing, you're not kidding yourself that you can actually do something when you can't. If you try and play along and it's not working, you need to realize the fact that it's not working and you need to try something else. So when you're playing, if I'm trying to play along with this, and I'm not doing it, I need to realize the fact that I'm not doing it, and I need to try and set it at a speed that I can do. Now, the other thing you have to understand about technique exercises, they're not going to get better every day. They're not going to get better every week. Sometimes they don't get better every month. They take time. But once they get better, they get better. And that really is the goal. That's why I think there's a lot of musicians out there, a lot of guitar players that really don't spend any time on this stuff because they expect to see immediate results. And when they don't, they get frustrated and then they don't want to do it, which is fine, but then don't expect to do it. So the goal is to take these exercises and practice them on a daily basis over and over and over and over again, and allow time and patience and determination and all those other things to bring this out in you, to keep trying to get comfortable with, being able to play faster, learning how to relax in your arm when you play. Part of the goal of being able to play faster is not tightening up, it's learning how to loosen up, even though you want to tighten up because you feel those muscles tightening. It's learning how to move your pick as little as possible, okay, and try and loosen everything up. The other part is remembering to hold the pick towards the front of the pick, and don't turn the pick so much. I get so many students that turn the pick so the pick is sitting almost 90 degrees from the string. Don't do that. If you're going to turn the pick, all you need to do is turn it just a little bit, and it'll cut through that string. But the more you turn it, the less percussive sound you get. See, it just starts kind of sounding like the slicing thing. You want to make sure that you're picking down. So you set your metronome, whatever. Let's try 168 here. So we're going. Just over and over. So you try and do that for 3 minutes. Now here's the deal. Then we move on to doing alternate picking. Okay? With alternate picking, what we're going to do is we're going to start off doing exactly the same speed that we're doing the downs at. Normally, we would think of doing alternate picking as twice as fast, but the problem is until you've developed the actual ability to down-up pick comfortably, going fast isn't going to help you. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stay at 168 here, and I'm going to go exactly the same speed I was doing those downs. Now, it's going to feel a little slow, obviously, but what I'm focusing on is how it feels to do the down and the up, and trying to get them to sound similar in dynamic, similar in volume, and attack, I should say. Okay? I want to get used to being able to do those down and ups comfortably. If you keep getting stuck on the up strum, which happens a lot, the problem is you got to rethink how you're picking. Sorry about that. How you're thinking about picking that string. For instance, when I'm doing downs, my wrist has a tendency of laying kind of like this. When I do down ups, I pop up just a little bit like this. So now I'm picking the string over here at sort of a 90-degree angle on both sides. So I'm getting the same picking attack both on downs and ups. If I left it here, I'd have a tendency of going underneath the string and I'd kind of get stuck like that. Now I could leave it here and kind of pick at the side of the string, but that doesn't feel very comfortable for me. When I come up here, it feels more comfortable up there. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. Listen, if you're ready to take your guitar playing to the next level, then I'd like to invite you to go to guitarzoom.com and sign up for a VIP membership, which gives you first access to my premium lessons each month, which are customized for your specific goals and skill level. Now, it's an awesome community of guitar players that love to play, have fun, and support each other's goals, and we'd love to have you join us. So go to guitarzoom.com and sign up for VIP today.